Did you catch this in Wreck-It Ralph? You have to stick around to the very end, but if you do, you're rewarded with a bunch of weird symbols and video errors. This is actually a kill screen, a reference to what happened in arcade games like the original Pac-Man when you got to a level that was so high it caused an error. Fans of a certain musician might have thought the DJ at Felix's 30th anniversary party looked familiar. That's because he's based off a famous musician. Fans may have also recognized the instrumentation during Ralph's adventure in the game Hero's Duty, as that same musician wrote music for that scene. Who is it? Skrillex. There's a piece of graffiti on the right side of the tunnel which reads Leroy, a nod to Leroy Jenkins, a World of Warcraft player who obtained internet fame from a video of him running headlong into battle while shouting his own name. Leroy Jenkins! During the meeting of Badanon, where famous villains like Bowser and Dr. Robotnik get together, there's one character who doesn't quite belong. Despite not being a villain, Zangief from Street Fighter attends the meeting. This is because the film's writer said as a kid he could never beat him, and so he thought Zangief would feel bad for all the players who could never beat him. Fans of a certain game franchise might have seen this neat Easter egg. In the beginning of the movie, when Ralph first enters Felix's apartment, there's a waterfall sculpture on the left side of the screen. Do you recognize it? The speed, size, and pattern of the waterfall is almost identical to the waterfall featured on the start screen of the classic NES game, The Legend of Zelda. The donut cops aren't just a joke about how much police officers like donuts, they're also a reference. The cops' name, Winchell and Duncan, are a reference to the donut chains Dunkin' Donuts and Winchell's Donuts. The bartender game, Tapper, sparked some controversy in real life. The real-life game was originally intended for adults to play in bars, as it featured a bartender serving mugs of Budweiser beer. However, the game eventually made its way into kid-friendly arcades, upsetting parents. Soon, a kid-friendly version was made called Root Beer Tapper, where the bartender is replaced by a soda jerk character. So how is the game presented in the film? It mixes the two versions with a bartender dispensing root beer. If you look at Ralph's arcade game screen, you can see that the high score is 120501, and this isn't just a random number. It's actually a reference to Disney founder Walt Disney, whose birthday was on December 5, 1901, or 120501. Ralph could have looked a lot different from what you see in the final film. Early on in production, the crew considered having each character featured in the film be designed to look how they looked in their respective games. That means Ralph would have been an 8-bit character throughout the film, but they decided that would make it too difficult for him to be a sympathetic, lovable character. As the characters are walking through the train station of Niceland, you can see a sign telling you the population is 224 by 256. It's a strange way to report a population, but it's actually a nod to gaming. 224 by 256 is the common resolution of an 8-bit game. When Ralph is looking in the Lost and Found for a medal, he pulls out an exclamation mark and a sound is heard. This is a reference to the same exclamation mark and sound heard when you're spotted by the enemy in the game Metal Gear Solid. The Donut Cops have a humorous connection to cops in the US. The police motto is to protect and serve, and if you look closely at the Donut Cops badge, you can see their motto, to heat and serve.